When it comes to designing a functional kitchen, the countertop that you choose plays a massive role. Homeowners today are looking for countertops that are not only beautiful, but also deliver that user experience that matches their lifestyle and how they actually use their kitchen. I'm Mark, and I've been designing kitchens for over 2 decades. I've worked with and sold almost every countertop material on the market. In this video, I'll walk through the most popular countertop options to help you determine which countertop material best suits your kitchen. And I'll start with a countertop that at this point, most people feel they know everything about: manufactured quartz, often referred to as engineered stone. Patented in the 1970s, vibro-compression technology allowed manufacturers to turn a slurry of crushed quartz crystals, resin, and pigments into these solid slabs of countertops. The result was that the countertop was non-porous, dimensionally stable, and capable of withstanding a high degree of everyday use. What made quartz really explode in popularity was its low-maintenance appeal. There are no sealers, no oils or sprays required. It's scratch and stain and heat resistant to varying degrees. And combined with a massive range of colors and styles and a very competitive price point, quartz quickly became the industry favorite. I remember my early days of selling quartz and thinking it was the near perfect solution. So why not stop there? Why even bother mentioning other countertop materials? Well, it didn't take long to realize that quartz wasn't the be-all end-all in the countertop world. As demand grew, many startup manufacturers entered the market, resulting in a wide range of quality, some excellent and some not so great. In 2024, Australia banned the production of engineered quartz due to health concerns surrounding crystalline silica dust generated during fabrication. While quartz countertops remain safe for homeowners, this ban caused consumers worldwide to rethink the materials that they wanted in their kitchens. From a homeowner's perspective, the biggest drawback for quartz countertop is heat sensitivity. With enough heat, quartz can burn or discolor, causing permanent damage. And for most homeowners, this will never be an issue, but it can be a problem for those who are transitioning from granite to engineered stones. Using trivets and heat protection is essential when placing hot pans or dishes on a quartz surface. Now, the global quartz market remains very strong, and many homeowners continue to choose it. However, let's look at some other options that are definitely worth considering if you're shopping for countertops. Now, this next one is probably the grandfather of all countertop material options out there: natural stone. Natural stone has been the rival of quartz since engineered stone entered the market. While quartz dominated sales for many years, natural stone countertops are making a significant comeback and are projected to lead the market again over the next decade. Now, for this discussion, I'm just focusing primarily on traditional granite countertops and closely related stones like quartzite. I'm not going to talk about niche materials like marble, soapstone, or limestones. Granite and quartzite are among the most impact-resistant and durable countertop materials available. If you were to hit a quartz countertop and a granite countertop with a sledgehammer, the results would be dramatically different. Quartz would likely fracture into multiple pieces, while granite would absorb much of that impact, possibly chipping but unlikely to break. Granite's impact resistance far exceeds that of most engineered surfaces. And no, you're probably not going to be hitting your countertop with a sledgehammer, but this just illustrates how resilient granite really is. Granite is also far superior in heat and scratch resistance. You could literally light a bonfire on your granite countertop without damaging it. Again, not recommended, but it's something you could do, demonstrating its performance advantage over engineered stones. Now, many homeowners also love granite because it's truly one of a kind. Like, no two slabs are really identical. They can be similar, but definitely not identical. And natural stone has a depth and a movement that a manufactured stone simply cannot replicate. The traditional downside of granite has been maintenance. Natural stones need to be sealed and protected against stains. And while sealing isn't difficult, most homeowners often forget. Fortunately, some suppliers offer a factory pre-sealed slab with stain warranties, which is great in the stone world because you never get a warranty on just your slab of granite. But on the stain seal, you can. This provides the same low maintenance appeal as quartz, and it's something that you should absolutely ask for when you're shopping for stone. Granite also has something that's very hard to replace, and that's legacy. We've been using it for a lot of years. Coring, slabs, production, fabrication, and installation processes are well refined. It's a surface that we trust, and that trust plays a big role in its renewed popularity. And if this video was about granite versus quartz only, my personal choice would likely be a slab of Taj Mahal quartzite. But there are other countertop options to consider. And one worth mentioning is acrylic solid surfaces, a category that saw massive popularity in the 1990s. The most recognizable name in this space is DuPont's Corian, which was introduced in 1967 and quickly gained traction in residential and commercial kitchens because it offered something truly new at the time, a seamless, non-porous countertop surface. Acrylic solid surface countertops are made from a blend of acrylic or polyester resins combined with natural mineral fillers, typically aluminum trihydrate, derived from bauxite ore, if that means anything to you. It doesn't to me, but hey, it's fun. This mixture is then cast into sheets or shapes, creating a homogeneous material with the same composition throughout the entire slab, meaning you can break it in half and it's the same all the way through. Because of how it's made, solid surface is completely non-porous, meaning it doesn't absorb liquids, harbor bacteria, or require sealing. It's also very thermoformable, which allows fabricators to heat and mold the material into custom shapes. Unlike quartz or granite, acrylic solid surface materials are fully repairable. Cracks, burns, scratches, even missing sections can often be fixed, leaving no visible trace of damage. One of the biggest functional advantages of solid surface is the ability to fabricate integrated sinks from the same material. This creates a seamless transition between countertop and sink, eliminating joints where food and water and bacteria and mold typically accumulate. From a hygiene and maintenance standpoint, this is a significant benefit. The drawbacks are also important to understand. Acrylic solid surfaces scratch more easily than stone-based materials, and they're highly susceptible to heat damage. Yes, while I said repairs are possible, they can be time-consuming and inconvenient. These surfaces also cannot be polished to the same high level as quartz or granite, resulting in a softer, more matte or satin appearance. And while honed or matte finishes are popular today, this was not the aesthetic most homeowners were seeking during the height of solid surface popularity when polished stone became the gold standard. An interesting benefit is sustainability. Acrylic solid surfaces can incorporate recycled content, and because it's homogeneous, the offcuts and scraps can usually be reused. This led to some creative and unique design options during its peak and continues to appeal to the environmentally conscious consumer. Globally, acrylic solid surfaces remain one of the top 3 countertop choices along with engineered stone and natural stone, particularly in healthcare, commercial, and high-use environments. If you're comfortable with cutting boards and trivets, like most of us are anyway, value seamless design, and appreciate the peace of mind that comes with a fully repairable product, acrylic solid surface is absolutely a material worth considering. Next is a countertop that you've almost certainly seen, often admired, and then quietly dismissed once the price tag came into view. Dekton, or ultra-compact surfaces. Dekton is an ultra-compact sintered stone surface developed by Costantino, first introduced into the market in the early 2010s. At the time, it represented a major shift in countertop manufacturing, aiming to create a surface that could outperform both engineered stone and natural stones. Dekton is manufactured using a process called particle sintering technology. In simple terms, you take a blend of natural minerals similar to those found in porcelain, quartz, and glass. They're ground up into ultrafine particles. These particles are then subjected to extreme heat and enormous pressure, fusing them together into a dense, solid slab. The goal is to replicate the natural formation of stone in the earth, which normally takes thousands of years or however long it takes, but compressed into an industrial process that happens in hours. One of the most important distinctions with Dekton is that it contains no resins or organic binders. Because of this, Dekton will not burn, scorch, or discolor from heat the way that an engineered stone can. It's also UV resistant, meaning it won't fade in sunlight, and it has an extremely low porosity, making it highly resistant to staining. Scratch resistant is excellent, and the material is stable enough for both interior and exterior applications, something that was new for countertop materials. Decton is produced in a range of thicknesses, which means it's versatile beyond just countertops. It's commonly used for backsplashes, waterfall panels, flooring, wall cladding, and outdoor kitchens, allowing designers to carry that same surface across multiple planes to give a more cohesive look. Now, the trade-off comes in impact resistance. Decton is incredibly hard, but like many ultra-dense materials, it's also very brittle. Compared to granite or quartz, it is more susceptible to chipping from sharp, forceful impacts, especially on the edges. And if struck hard enough, it can fracture much like fine china. Under normal kitchen use, this is rarely an issue. I just wouldn't recommend juggling your cast iron pots and pans over your countertop surface. Now, for most homeowners, what ultimately holds Decton back is its price. Many people simply don't prioritize extreme heat resistance or UV stability. And since other countertop options already perform well in terms of stain and scratch resistance and are maintenance free, the added cost doesn't always feel justified. Personally, I'm a fan of Decton. Heat resistance to me is something that is really important, and I dread the thought of spending thousands of dollars on a countertop only to permanently damage it with one careless mistake. With Decton, or natural stone, that worry largely disappears. A close relative of Decton, and one definitely worth putting on your list of options, is porcelain slab countertops. While Decton is classified as a sintered stone formed through heat and pressure, porcelain is considered a vitrified stone, created by firing refined clays and minerals at a very high temperature until they fuse into an ultra-dense surface. One of the leading manufacturers in this category is Infinity Surfaces out of Italy. They use advanced digital printing and veining technologies to embed a highly realistic pattern throughout the body of the slab, not just on its surface like you find in Decton. This allows porcelain to convincingly replace natural stones like marble and quartzite while maintaining a very consistent appearance from slab to slab. From a performance standpoint, porcelain shares many of Decton's strengths. It's highly resistant to heat, scratching, staining, and UV exposure, making it stable not only for kitchens, but also for outdoor applications. And because it contains no resins, it won't burn either, or discolor from hot pans, which is a major advantage over engineered surfaces. Where porcelain really separates itself is in the design flexibility. It can be manufactured in extremely thin profiles, often as thin as 6 millimeters, which opens the design opportunities that aren't practical with other thicker materials. This makes porcelain an excellent choice for full-height one-piece backsplashes, wrapping around hoods, cladding waterfall islands, even applying it to cabinet doors and other vertical surfaces for a seamless architectural look. The trade-offs come in cost and complexity. Porcelain slabs tend to be priced at the higher end of the market. And because the material is dense yet brittle, fabrication and installation require specialized tools and experience. The pool of qualified fabricators is smaller compared to granite and quartz, which can affect the availability depending on where you live and the price. That said, I personally believe porcelain is poised to become the most dominant countertop choice in that high-end market over the next decade. It delivers the performance that homeowners want, the design flexibility that designers crave, and the long-term durability expected at that price point. And again, this is not the surface to test your cast iron juggling skills on unless you're doing it for a YouTube video. I should try that. All right, here we go. Whoa, wait! This next material sits right on the fence for many people. Laminate countertops. They're often dismissed as cheap, yet they continue to hold a significant share in the countertop market, and for good reason. Laminate countertops have been around since the post-World War II housing boom, when manufacturers needed an affordable, durable surface that could be mass-produced for the growing suburban home population. Brands like Formica, which actually became synonymous with the material, helped laminate explode in popularity from the 1950s through to the 1980s. While its reputation took a hit as stone surfaces became the status symbol, laminate never disappeared. It simply evolved. Modern laminate is made by layering sheets of craft paper saturated with phenolic resin, topped with a decorative paper layer, and sealed under heat and pressure with a clear melamine ware layer. This laminated sheet is then bonded to a substrate, typically particle board or MDF, and finished with post-form technology, which gives it its edging and its backsplash features. The printed decorative layer allows manufacturers to replicate wood, concrete, stone, and marbles, giving laminate seamlessly unlimited design options at a fraction of the cost of those real materials. From a performance standpoint, laminate scratches and burns much easier than stone, but it is highly impact resistant and naturally stain resistant. You can drop a very heavy object on it with little concern, and everyday messes clean up very easily. Many homeowners, including myself, have lived with laminate for decades with great success. It will take a surprising amount of abuse and continue to perform as long as it's not exposed to excessive heat or standing water. Because the biggest vulnerability with laminate is the seams and edges. Because the core is wood-based, water intrusion can cause swelling and bubbling and delamination over time. Once this happens, the damage is not repairable. Sink cutouts, seams, miter joints in particular, and end caps are the most common failure points, making proper fabrication and installation critical to longevity. That said though, laminate's affordability is its greatest strength. It remains the most budget-friendly, reasonable countertop option available, making it ideal for starter homes, rentals, basements, cottages, and large kitchens where cost control matters. And for people like me, who just could really care less that they have laminate and they like it. When replacement costs are low, many homeowners are comfortable knowing that they can update the surface again down the road at a much lower cost. And it's also worth noting that laminate hasn't stood still. Newer ultra-compact laminate products such as Wilson Art's Thinscape push the material further by reducing its thickness, improving its edge aesthetics, and offering more refined visuals. These products help bridge the gap between traditional laminate and solid surface, giving homeowners a sleeker look without the cost of stone. Laminate may not be glamorous, but it's proven, practical, and still earns a place in the conversation, especially when budget, impact resistance, and design flexibility are top priorities. I wanted to list a few honorable mentions, but not go into much detail about them. The first one being soapstone, which is extremely durable and heat resistant, and I've done a full video on soapstone, which I'll link below. The next honorable mention is stainless steel. It is not that popular due to its industrial appearance, but arguably the most functional countertop available. It's non-porous, heat-resistant, impact-resistant, repairable, recyclable, and can be seamlessly fabricated. Now, it scratches easily, but those scratches form a natural patina over time, which many people like. But the look and custom fabrication requirements keep it from being mainstream. I've intentionally left out many of the niche materials to focus on the most functional countertop options that you're actually going to face in the marketplace. And if you'd like to talk one-on-one about your kitchen, including countertop choices, layout, lighting, appliances, overall function, there's a link below to book a consultation. Sometimes all you need is a second set of unbiased eyes to look at your plan to make sure you're headed in the right direction. I'd love to help. Click the link below to book a call. I look forward to meeting you. All right, the countertop that you choose for your kitchen should be one that works with the way that you use your kitchen, and should never be purely on design or aesthetics. Ultimately, all of these countertop options can be great in your kitchen, but I'm curious, which one will you choose? See you on the next one.